You know, you make literally thousands of decisions every single day. But what if I told you most of them aren't, well, they aren't really yours? Today, we're going to explore the hidden bugs in our mental software. The glitches that control our choices without us even realizing it. And, more importantly, how we can start to debug our own brains.
So let's just start with a big question. Who's really in control of your thoughts? I mean, the obvious answer is, well, I am, of course. But what if a ton of your decisions are actually made long before your conscious mind even gets a say in the matter?
10 seconds. Just remember that number. 10 seconds.
Yeah, so there was this wild study back in 2008, and according to them, that's how much of a head start your unconscious brain gets. They used fMRI scans and could literally see brain activity that predicted a decision a full 10 seconds before the person was even aware they'd made it. It's like our unconscious is driving the car, and we're just along for the ride. Today, we're going to figure out how to grab the wheel.
All right, section 1, your brain's hidden bunks. So, first up, let's pop the hood and look at your brain's factory settings. This operating system, it was designed for one thing, and one thing only: survival in a really dangerous, ancient world. The problem? We're now running that very same, very ancient software in our super modern world. And, well, it's full of bugs. The best way to think about it is like this constant tug-of-war happening inside your head. In one corner, you've got this ancient, primal reptilian brain. It's all about instinct, emotion, survival. And in the other corner, that's your modern human brain, the part that handles logic and reason. Now here's the kicker. In a split-second decision, who do you think wins? Yep, the faster, more emotional reptilian brain almost always wins that tug-of-war. So why does that primal brain have such an edge? Well, it runs on a really simple program. Seek pleasure, avoid pain. It absolutely loves what's familiar and what's easy. So when we hear something that confirms what we already believe, our brain goes, "Yes, that's right," and rewards us with a little hit of dopamine. It's this chemical feedback loop that makes us feel smart, but honestly, it's what traps us inside our own little echo chamber. And this tendency, it has a name. It's called confirmation bias, and it's probably one of the biggest bugs in our whole system. Like, let's say you've already decided you love corgis. You're not going to go and Google, "Are pit bulls a better family dog?" No way. You're going to search for "corgis are friendly" or "why corgis are the best." You see? You're not actually looking for information. You're looking for justification for a decision you've already made.
Okay, section 2, the fiction of your memory. Now, what's really fascinating is that these mental bugs don't just mess with our decisions in the moment. Oh no, they actively corrupt one of our most precious assets, our memories. We all like to think of our memory as this perfect, high-definition recording of the past, right? Well, the truth is, it's a lot more flexible and way, way less reliable.
I want you to try something. Think about your earliest memory. Go on, take a second. Try to really picture the details. Who was there? What was happening? How did you feel? You got it? Okay, whatever you just pictured, I've got some news for you. Here's the hard truth. You didn't just play that memory back like a video. Nope. Your brain rebuilt it, piece by piece, from tiny fragments of information. And every single time you recall it, there's a chance it grabs the wrong pieces to fill in the gaps. See, your brain is a storyteller. It's not a file clerk. When you try to remember something, it grabs the key highlights, and then it just improvises the rest. It fills in the gaps with its own assumptions, its biases, maybe even details from totally different memories. It's all done to create a nice, coherent story. But researchers have a name for this little side effect: memory pollution. And this leads to one of the most dangerous glitches in our memory. It's called source amnesia. You know what this is. It's when you remember a fact, but you have no idea where or when or how you learned it. It's like your brain keeps the information, but just deletes the source file. And this is exactly how a random comment, a rumor, or even a piece of propaganda can start to feel like a solid, well-established fact in your mind.
Okay, section 3, arguments that deceive. So let's recap. We've got buggy mental software, and our memory files are totally unreliable. This combination, well, it makes us incredibly vulnerable to external attacks. I'm talking about manipulative arguments that are designed to bypass our logic entirely.
And these attacks have a name. They're called logical fallacies. Honestly, just think of them as cheat codes for arguments. They aren't designed to win with logic. They're designed to hack your emotional reptilian brain. Let's look at a couple of common ones, because I promise, once you see them, you'll start seeing them everywhere. First up, we have the straw man. This is classic. It's when someone can't beat your actual argument, So they build this weaker, distorted version of it, a straw man, and then they knock that down instead. For example, you see it when someone arguing for criminal justice reform gets accused of, wanting to let all the criminals run free on the streets. It's a total caricature, but boy, is it easier to attack. All right, next up is the ad hominem fallacy. This one means to the person. And instead of dealing with the actual argument, the person just attacks the character of the one making it. Like, you can't trust his economic plan. Just look at his haircut. It's a total diversion, right? It shifts the focus away from the logic and onto the person themselves. Classic stuff.
Okay, Section 4, the mind games of marketing. Now, these sneaky tactics aren't just for arguments. Oh, no. There is an entire multi-billion-dollar industry dedicated to exploiting our faulty thinking for one reason: profit. And that industry is marketing.
Have you ever wondered why so many things cost something and 99 cents? Well, there's a reason. It's called the left digit effect. See, our brains are kind of lazy, and they anchor on the very first number they see. So even though $19.99 is just 1 single cent less than $20, our brain sees the 1 and goes, oh, that's much cheaper. It is such a simple trick, but it is incredibly effective.
I'm telling you, marketers are masters at hacking our brains bugs. They invent problems for us to be afraid of. They create the illusion of a limited time deal to trigger our FOMO. They tap right into our primal needs for status and self-esteem. Every single one of these strategies is designed to talk directly to that emotional reptilian brain and completely bypass your rational mind.
Right, Section 5, becoming a critical thinker. Okay, so let's face it. Our brains are buggy, our memories are totally unreliable, and there are people out there actively trying to exploit those weaknesses. It sounds kind of bleak, doesn't it? So how do we fight back? Well, we need to install a powerful new piece of software: critical thinking. And this is such a crucial point. Critical thinking isn't about knowing more stuff. It's not about memorizing more facts. It's not what you know, it's how you think. The best way to picture it is like an antivirus for your mind, a skill you can actually learn that actively scans for and quarantines faulty logic before it can infect your decisions.
So what does that actually look like? Well, it's not about being cynical about everything. It's about being curious. It's about having the self-awareness to recognize your own biases, the openness to actually listen to other ideas, and the intellectual humility to admit, you might be wrong. And let me tell you, that last one, it's the hardest one, but it's also the most important.
Ultimately, this is the fundamental shift right here. Critical thinking changes the whole goal of a conversation. It's not about defending your ego anymore, it's about discovering the truth. And that whole process? It starts by just accepting a few simple facts. Our brains are flawed, our memories are imperfect, and questioning what you believe isn't a weakness. It's a profound strength. And that's our explainer for today. The debugging process, it starts right now, with you. So I'll leave you with this question. What's one belief you hold that you're willing to question today? That's where the real thinking begins.